I remember the day of the Tennessee flood. The sound of the scream and the sight of the blood. My son, he saw as the animal died in the jaws of the dog as the river ran by. I said, come back soon. Was there on the page of the book that I read?
So actually, most Haitians that come here, they come basically for jobs. So this is like a kind of working area, okay, where everybody try to find a job and to help their families back in Haiti. You know, when they come here, they kind of faced with this kind of, you know, trials and problems, and it's really sad. They don't have any insurance, so they can't really, you know, visit the main hospital that we have here. And the private practices, like the private clinics, they are kind of very expensive, and they don't really trust the doctors over here because a lot of malpractice has been going on. So when you guys come here, it means a lot to them because they can get basic medications, you know, which are very expensive, and they can have their kids seen. So they really value you guys coming here. They really have a lot of consideration for it, you know, and they have been showing that by their presence, coming on and on almost every time you guys here. So we all
I can feel in the fall the final exhale. The trees of the field all wring their hands, and the leaves go by like a funeral band to say, come back soon.
We left the boat, packed a school bus with all our supplies, pulled up to this church. It really didn't even look much like a church, kind of just like a vacant building, no lights on. We walk inside, unpacked all our stuff, and set up the tables with all our supplies. And there were already people sitting inside waiting for us to get there to provide them some medical care. So that was really amazing to see that, you know, they knew we were coming, they were expecting us and wanted us to be there to help them. Then once we got everything set up, we started just bringing them in and getting their basic information, what was going on with them today as far as why they were coming to the clinic, and getting their blood pressures and things like that. And then they'd go and see one of the providers, and then go to the pharmacy if they needed medications.
If nature's red in tooth and in claw.
So this trip has been a very interesting time for me, especially going last year in Haiti and then serving the Haitian people here in Turks and Caicos, and seeing the difference in their situations between these two different islands. It's been a really wonderful time being able to serve them for their medical needs. I even got to share a pair of my old glasses from high school with a little girl who wasn't able to see the chalkboard anymore in class. So that was just a time, you know, where I got to, you know, spread the love of sight with people, since I know how hard it is when you're not able to see.
So this trip has meant a lot to me. It's a kind of an eye-opening experience just to see the people here and be able to interact with them and realize that they don't necessarily go to the hospital when they need the care that they need because they're afraid of being deported, and it's really sad because they're literally risking their lives at points. They think that they might get deported. It's really sad, but it's nice to be here and to be able to pray with them about that and to pray for their families back home.
So I think the trip has been really neat to experience, one, a different culture and just a different way of, just a different lifestyle. You know, in the US we're so concerned with numbers and productivity, and here you're constantly reminded that it's not about just the medical treatment, but it's about each individual and spending time with them, not only the patients, but also your team members and the Mission of Hope staff, as well as the interpreters. So we've had the opportunity to just interact with everybody and spend time with everyone. So that has been really neat and rewarding.
Do you feel the world is broken? We do. Do you feel the shadows deepen? We do. But do you know that all the dark won't stop the light from getting through?
I feel like Jesus meant what he said in the Great Commission when he said to go into all the world and preach the gospel. I feel like that's not just a command, but a great privilege. I feel personally that I've struggled a little on this trip because I have no medical skills and I am on a medical missions trip. But I've tried to work through that and tried to be helpful and useful in all situations.
Working with Mission of Hope and learning their vision, their mission is to be able to help a lot of people. You got to start with the one that's right there in front of you. And whether that's encouraging a Haitian that's been a believer for 30 years to keep loving on his or her family or his or her friends, supporting their church. Is it someone and introducing them to Jesus? And a lot of people here know who Jesus is, but really getting down and asking, do you have a relationship with Jesus?
A lot of people had certain complaints that we really couldn't do anything about. Just it was kind of beyond the supplies or tools we have with us right now, and to tell them to go see a doctor or you need to go see the eye doctor, when I know they probably don't have the means to actually do that and they're just going to have to suffer with this issue. It was really hard to do and just hard to tell them that I can't help you right now. I just really had to take a different look at things, prayed that God would just give me the strength and the confidence to give to these people whatever they needed when they came to see me.
It's been so moving this week to see firsthand this beautiful aspect of our God who moves towards these people, and just getting to see that it took a hurricane a couple years ago and unrest in Haiti recently to move the gaze of Mission of Hope towards a large number of people suffering and hurting in Turks and Caicos, but doing it largely unnoticed and in silence. And yet God heard their cries, and through a series of events was able to move towards these people and minister to them through Mission of Hope coming here. And so it was so neat as we were going throughout this week to really get to see how in many ways we were an answer to these people's cries for help.
It's a God, my name on a stone written down.
Good morning. So we wanted to give you a tour of our boat. We have just finished our morning session for the day and have come back to the boat for lunch. So if you come with me, I'll show you where we get to stay.
But what?
So this is the girls' bunk that we've been staying in. This is the area that sleeps up to 18. So we have 3 sets of bunks. Luckily though, we only have 7 of us in here. So we were just using the middle bunks, and I'm the lucky one that gets to be on the top bunk. So if you come down this way, you can see this is kind of what we have. We have some sheets and blankets, and then actually over here you can even see the water through the window, through some of them. And this is my trusty ladder that I get to go up and down every morning with. And then follow me and we'll see the rest of the boat.
that'll say.
So this is our lunch area, well, and all of our meals. And so we have different tables set up where we can just hang out. We also play cards up here at night, and just a general area for us to hang out, relax, and enjoy the pleasant island breeze. And if you follow over here, this is a nice little view where we sometimes do our morning devotional, and Ross's captain's chair that he sits in, which is fun and nice. And smile for the camera, ladies. Well, so yeah, so this is our general area that we get to just relax and enjoy just the beautiful island around us. So this is our next room that we have. This is where we get most of our meals that are laid out for us. We have our schedule listed for the day and any life vest, if we need it, stocked over there. And so we'll introduce you guys to some of our wonderful Mission of Hope staff that we have been working with. So if you guys want to wave. Hi. I won't make them talk right now. And then we'll go finish the rest of the boat. Our last area of the boat to show you is where our guys have been staying this trip. So there are 4 additional rooms on the boat that each have bunks. So it is a little bit tight in here. So Ross and Will have been staying down here on the bunks. In between our 2 sets of living quarters, we have 3 bathrooms and 2 showers. So in our bathroom here, this is also nice and comfy and cozy. We have our sinks, our toilets, and our little showers that we get to do our ship showers for. Thanks for joining me on the tour of our wonderful boat we've been staying on this past week, and we look forward to telling you all the additional stories about our wonderful time here.
It's where I'm living now. Yeah, we always knew that the day would come, 'cause all we had was a spark. But one day soon, when the sparks all bloom in the chasing back the dark, I'm gonna see you again on them gold streets, standing next to me. I know I'm gonna see you again. Darling, won't be long till every trace of trouble is gone.